Hello everyone and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the story of Little Red Riding Hood yesterday. She loved it so much that she's asked me to do a story today that has her in it as well. But first we're going to do our mindfulness breathing. So, eyes closed or looking towards the floor. I'm going to chime my bar and you're going to hold your hand up when you can hear it. And when you stop hearing the chime, you need to put your hand down. We have done this one before, but it was a while ago. Off we go. Brilliant, well done everyone. So today we're going to be reading Mr. Wolf's Pancakes, and it's by Jan Fearnley and published by Egmont. One day Mr. Wolf was feeling hungry. He fancied some pancakes. Yum yum, he said, licking his lips at the thought of a big pile of fresh, delicious pancakes. Mr. Wolf had never ever made pancakes before, so he took his big recipe book down from off the shelf and looked inside. But wolves can't read very well, and Mr. Wolf had trouble making sense of it, so he went to get some help from his neighbours. He's reading it upside down. He called out Chicken Licken, who lived nearby. "Please, can you help me read this?" he asked. "No," said Chicken Licken, slamming the door in the wolf's face. Bang! "Oh dear," sighed Mr. Wolf. He sat down slowly, read the book and worked out what he needed, all by himself. He's got flour, eggs, milk. Mr. Wolf looked in his cupboard for the ingredients, but he couldn't find anything he needed. "I'll go to the shop," he decided, and he settled down to write a list. But wolves aren't very good at writing, so Mr. Wolf called on Wee Willie Winkie. "You're very clever," said Mr. Wolf. "Can you help me write my shopping list, please?" "No," said Wee Willie Winkie. "Go away." He slammed his door. Bang! "There's no need to be like that," said Mr. Wolf quietly. Poor Mr. Wolf. Mr. Wolf sat down and tried very hard with his writing until he had made his shopping list, all by himself. Now he needed to count his money to make sure he had enough. But wolves aren't very good at counting, so he went to the gingerbread man for some help. "Can you help me count my money, please?" he asked politely. "No, I'm too busy to bother with you," said the gingerbread man, slamming his door. Bang! Another person slammed the door in his face. It's not very kind. So poor Mr. Wolf had to sit down and count his money. It took him a long time and he had to check it 3 times before it was right. But he did, all by himself. Mr. Wolf needed a basket to carry his shopping, so he called on Little Red Riding Hood. "Please, may I borrow your basket?" he asked. "I'm not lending you my basket," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Now clear off." Oh dear. I don't know why Little Red Riding Hood wanted us to read this one. She's not being very kind, is she? So Mr. Wolf set off to the shop without a basket. "I'll manage," he said. Now he's in the shop getting all of his ingredients. It says Old Mother's Hubbard's General Store. Mr. Wolf went to the shop. He looked at his list, remembered what he needed, counted out his money and carried the eggs, milk and flour home, all by himself. Now it was time to make the pancakes, but wolves aren't very good at cooking, so Mr. Wolf called on the 3 little pigs. "Please, can you help me cook my pancakes? I'll share them with you," he said kindly. "No chance," chorused the pigs, slamming their door. Bang, bang, bang. Mr. Wolf felt sad because nobody wanted to help him. Poor Mr. Wolf. Mr. Wolf went home and started to make the pancakes all by himself. Soon there was a huge pile of delicious pancakes on the table, all ready for eating. They looked delicious. Now, as Mr. Wolf had been making his pancakes, a lovely smell had drifted out of the kitchen. All his neighbours could smell it, and it made them feel very hungry. They wanted some pancakes too. They decided to try their luck. Do you think Mr. Wolf's going to let them eat his pancakes, even though they didn't help him? So they knocked on Mr. Wolf's door. "Give us some of your pancakes," said the rotten lot. "Why should I give any to you?" said Mr. Wolf. "Not one of you helped me." "We'll help you eat them," replied Mr. Wolf's neighbour nastily. "Anyway, we're not going away until you give us some." Mr. Wolf thought very hard for a moment. There was only one decent thing to do. "Oh, very well then," he sighed. "You had better come in." Mr. Wolf opened the door and whoosh! His greedy neighbours rudely pushed him aside and dashed down the hill. Mr. Wolf shook his head, shrugged his shoulders, followed them into the kitchen, and when they were all in, what did he do? Mr. Wolf gobbled them up, snippety snappity. That was the end of his helpful neighbours. And then, with his bulging tummy not quite full, Mr. Wolf sat down to eat his pile of pancakes, and he did it all by himself. This book reminds me, well, there was nobody else around. This book reminds me of The Little Red Hen that my children in my class would remember. We did it at the beginning of the year. So for your activity today, you can make something to eat and share it with people in your family. But make sure you ask your mum or your daddy's permission first. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow.